All right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the chat.
Hello, hello.
Today we have a super special guest with us today that just hit a amazing milestone last night live on his chat. Welcome, Father Fish.
Thank you, Gary and Tessie. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, that was pretty exciting stuff.
Yes, it was.
Mary was over the moon.
Yes. And thank you, Mary, for the super chat. I saw it before. I don't know where it went at the moment, but thank you for the super chat. And I hope you enjoy your wrench.
No,
I made her a moderator.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, congratulations. It's well-deserved. We were kind of chit-chatting a few minutes while ago. I was just telling you about how much it's well-deserved. Like, your channel's amazing, and I honestly think I watch you now more than anybody.
Wow. Well, that's nice. Thank you so much.
I really enjoy you. Always come on during breakfast time when I'm fixing. Usually the kids are going to school and getting up and ready, so I always turn you on. And then they yell at me about going to school, and then I just listen to the fish chat, and it makes me feel better.
Yeah, it's funny. I decided I was doing 7 days a week, morning and evening for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 7 days a week morning for about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then about a month and a half ago, I added evenings in. And just this week, I decided to change all that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing kind of getting it back to a more practical level. We're doing Monday through Friday in the mornings, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we set it up an hour. And then Saturday and Sunday, no mornings, but 2 evening streams at 6 Eastern Standard Time for an hour. So it kind of takes the pressure off. But I tell you, I miss it. I I missed it this morning, and I go home and I got nothing to do. I sit there, watch other people's videos.
Well, I was searching for you in the Starbucks line because there's no, since everybody's on Christmas break, they're all sleeping in, so I can listen to my chat and get my Starbucks. And I was like, what? But I'll get it. I'll get it down. It takes me a while to get everybody's schedule down. I barely know what my schedule is.
Yeah, last night was fun. Last night hitting 5,000. That was fun.
I was adding sand to this tank up here. And I was watching your chat with Lee and his sand cap, and I had to put it down because I was laughing so hard that I was going to spill something. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. But I was adding my sand to that tank for you.
Very nice. Yeah, Lee's sand cap. That was fascinating. That was pretty clever guy.
He baked sand on his baseball cap and made it a sand cap.
Right.
Oh, I know.
With a sand cap, right.
Well, is there any particular topics that you want to talk about? Or do
I'd like to get a feel for your fish room. Tell me, what are you doing in your fish room? How many fish have you got? What are you breeding?
Right now, this room downstairs is mainly my live bear. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a bunch of tanks down here. And it's mainly guppies. I have some mollies, some platies. I have some Amica splendens, a bunch of plecos, but I have 2 dirted tanks, and then I have 3 no-filter tanks, and then the other ones are hang on the back filters. So kind of a little bit of everything, but the more I watch you, the more I add stuff to it, because my dad growing up, I've always had tanks, and I always was told to add 1 inch of gravel and that's it. But I always had plastic plants. It wasn't until the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, I've gotten into live plants. And then now I'm getting into the dirted tanks, and it really does make a huge difference.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does.
Upstairs, I have an arowana and some goldfish upstairs, but that's more the bigger fish.
How big is the arowana?
It's about 2 feet now. It's in a 180-gallon tank.
Wow, nice.
Then we have 2 300-gallon tubs and a koi pond outside.
Cool.
So a little bit of everything, but I'm getting the itch on cichlids again. I had cichlids when I didn't know what I was keeping, and I just went to the fish store. I was like, that's cool. I'll put it in whatever tank.
So what kind of cichlids interest you?
I don't know. I just honestly, every time it depends on the live chat I'm watching. If I'm watching like multi-tank addiction, I'm all into whatever they're talking about. Or if I'm watching Danikin, I'm into whatever he's keeping, or whatever you're talking about in the morning. That's the reason I haven't went to the fish store and got anything yet, because it depends on who I'm watching.
Yeah, they're like four basic groups. There's Central American, not to be confused with South American. They're totally different groups of fish that really do not play well together. You know, you're not going to keep discus with synspilum or whatever. So those are two groups. And then there are two African groups. And they're basically Malawis, all the umbunas, all the peacocks, and there are Tanganyikas. And you know, there are other cichlids like the riverines, but they'll fit in one of those other groups. The credensis, for example, they'll go in with South Americans or with Tanganyikans. They're perfectly happy. That's a more gentle, quiet, peaceful little fish. So, you know, you can mix the Tanganyikas and the Malawis, but they don't nearly do as well as if you keep them separate. You really can't mix rams with Oscars, or you won't have any rams left.
No.
Or discus. Yeah. You can keep discus and angels, and I do that all the time. But you can't keep angels and Oscars, or angels and Texas cichlids, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, right now my dad has a bunch of angelfish with a bunch of neon tetra in his tank, but the angelfish they were little when we got them, and they're growing up. They've paired, there's 3 sets of, because there was 6. Yeah, so there's 3 pairs, but they're getting too large for his tank now. So I have a feeling, honestly, I'm going to start off with a couple of his angelfish and just bring them back to my empty tank and then start from there.
If he doesn't do it soon, he's not going to have any neons.
That's what I tell him, and he's watching. So listen, Dad.
It'll happen very quickly. In 1 week, they'll be gone. You'll notice 2 or 3 missing and 5 or 10, and then pretty soon there's one left and it's gone.
That's what happened to his friend.
Yeah, it teaches you something really interesting about fish. Fish will live together happily and compatibly until one of them gets big enough to eat the other one. And the minute it does, the day it does, that little one's going to be gone. It happens that fast.
Yes.
And it happens with angels and neons. That's the absolute classic match.
Yep. It's his favorite combination, too. And I tell him, I'm like, it'll be great until it's not.
That's right. And it'll happen. It'll happen. Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. That's what we're going after I get done with the live streams today. I was going to go help him with his tank and see what happens.
You know, there's so many really cool South American cichlids. I mean, you think about keyholes, chocolate cichlids.
That was mentioned in the chat. John Larson said that. Get chocolate cichlids. They're the best.
That's the reason it's so
wonderful.
Hard.
Yeah, I got a bunch of little ones. Oh, they're wonderful. They're beautiful fish. They're a peaceful fish. They're easy to breed. Keyholes are another one. And you can keep them with rams and apistos, you know, all that kind of stuff. Angels. They all do. They all play well together.
That's the reason I haven't officially went to go look for anything, because everything I see I fall in love with, and I'm getting to the point now I need to know what I need before I get there, before I start buying this and that and this and that.
Well, you've got enough tanks. What you really ought to do is probably adopt um, this adopt the monoculture system and just keep one pair and a dither group in each tank. Keep a pair or a small group, a small community of fish, and just make species tanks. In other words, do what Lucas does. I think that's the big fish room approach that really makes the most sense.
Yeah, his fish room is something to behold. To see that in person, you just kind of walk through the door and be like, ah.
Sure. Where are you located?
Right in the middle of Missouri.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Right in the middle of the state.
I knew nothing about Missouri.
Well, you're not missing much. There's not a whole lot here.
So
it's a drive-through state.
Yeah, Lucas is in Indianapolis, I guess.
Yeah, he's up next to Oddball Aquatics. She was on your chat, what was it, a day or so ago, showing the rope fish pond.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that was so cool. Yeah, that's right.
Assistant for a while. And she's my bestie. Whether she
nice.
And Mary now, she's my bestie too, whether she wants to be or not. Mary, your co-host is my new bestie too.
You bet. Well,
she's so adorable.
That's quite a pair. Yeah, I've been really blessed with, Mary and Cass and
Joey too.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, they have really made my live streams come alive.
I like to call them your angels.
They absolutely are. They absolutely are.
Hi Q Aquatics. Welcome to the chat. I'm horrible at reading the chat. He's supposed to be my reader, and he doesn't read
it. I was letting you guys talk. I've been reading it the whole time.
He's supposed to read it, but he reads it to himself.
Well, he's got to be able to get a word in edgewise.
I know. I talk a lot. This is my social hour. My one stream a week. I get all my talking in.
Wow. Yeah, you need to do it another day. You really do. I started doing it because I really wanted to change my involvement with the fish farm, and I wanted to get a sense of who I am and what I'm able to do and be in the fish farm. And the daily streams have really brought that to life. I've been doing it long enough now that I really do have a sense of purpose about it.
Well, it makes me feel like we're best friends.
Well, that's wonderful. That's really exciting to hear.
I look forward to getting up in the morning now, because before I was like, I got to get up. I don't want to. But now I'm like, it's friend time.
Well, how do you feel about it being an hour later? How does that work for you?
It's fine by me, because right now the kids are not in school, so they're quiet and I can concentrate. But now when you start, I'll be getting right back from the house, so it's fine for me too. All I do is get yelled at. I don't want to go to school, so anytime it's something to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, a few people were catching me on their ride to work. They can't do now, so they just have to figure out another way, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, on Saturdays I work 2 hours away, and I listen to you guys while I drive to Springfield.
What do you do?
Hair. I do hair.
Do hair?
Make people look pretty. I used to travel around before I had Brighton and the kiddos. I used to travel around and work for hair companies and teach color to different salons. And I went to New York for training and all kinds of cool places. But now I just work in the salon on the weekends, and then I take care of the kiddos during the week.
Do you know Amanda Fox? Precious Tranquility.
It sounds familiar.
She's a hairstylist. She has her own business. She's in Texas.
Maybe no, maybe I'm thinking someone else. Maybe no, maybe not.
She has goldfish. So she's gotten to know Joey, Hat Trick Joey.
I'll have to look it up. If not, I will look it up and I will subscribe.
She has a new channel called Good Mother. Good Mother.
Okay.
She's really examining the role of women in society from a conservative standpoint. It's really interesting stuff. A very open conversation called Good Mother.
I'll have to look it up. I watch anything that has to do with fish and then documentary stuff.
Oh, cool. Right.
So anything where I can learn something or I feel like I'm trying to learn something, I am more than welcome. I'll watch it. Check it out.
Nice. So you've got guppies, the live bearers, and the tanks downstairs.
Yeah, and then I have Carry Tetra in this tank. I do have, those are my Carry Tetras behind me.
Oh, nice.
You can't see them. Everything's backwards.
Have they spawned?
No, I'm trying, but not yet. I got them from Rachel O'Leary back when we were doing the Aquashella stuff, and she said they were spawning like crazy, and then she sent them to me, and I haven't had any luck.
Right.
But I haven't lost any of them, so that's good too.
Yeah, that's good. Generally, feeding live food is the key.
Yeah, I've started doing the brine shrimp, hatching brine shrimp now. You guys were talking about it like a month or so ago a lot. And so I did my little contraption and I was having not so good luck, but then I think I got a couple good batches and the fish went nuts. So I'm going to start doing that probably more often, but do you freeze the leftovers or do you just set them outside? You said you set them outside to mature, to grow more, don't you?
Yeah, if you put them in a vat outside, they'll grow up. You'll have adult in 2 weeks.
I'll have to try that.
In the winter, they're not going to do so much.
No.
But you can probably get away with it in the basement.
Yeah, because I have it's kind of a gross section. That's where I'll set it.
What she's saying is she took over my pool room, and that's where there's a bunch of tubs in there.
Well,
I don't know how I feel about that.
You can still kind of play and use the pool table. They were too cold to stay outside.
If I want to stand in rice fish.
Yeah, really. I do like a pool table.
Well, right now the kiddos use it as a couch. There's not a whole lot of pool playing going on. It's more of a couch for the television. And I have fish tubs around the pool table because I didn't want to move them from the tubs because I'll never get them all. And I didn't feel like they were going to do too well outside all winter. So it's a good spot for them.
Wow, funny stuff.
They're spawning like crazy in there still, though. They're laying eggs and they're hatching. So
how long have you been on YouTube, Carrie?
4 years now. 3 years. The first year I wouldn't say I was putting out consistent anything. So maybe 3 years, kind of consistently-ish. Till now, I haven't posted any videos recently. It's been live streams, but.
Well, I did that for a good while.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm finally now, but I've noticed a difference because now I've got a following that I did not have before. And the live streams have done that. My channel did not build with live streams, not in a visible way, but it's made a huge difference in the kind of response I'm getting to videos now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like it just brings us all closer together and I don't know, this is my social circle and I get a kick and I look forward to everybody's live streams and just makes me feel like we're friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I get more invested in the videos. Like you said, I'm more apt to click right when you drop them because it's like my friend's here. And everybody brings something. I learned something different from everybody. Because I've kept fish tanks since I was a little bitty kid. I don't have a single memory without a fish tank in it. But it wasn't until I got on YouTube and went back to school. I have a biology degree that I started learning why we do stuff and the meaning behind it. And it just opened up my whole world.
Yeah.
So
Know what
I
you
will
mean.
always be grateful.
Know what you mean. It's like joining a club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you join a club, that's what happens. All of a sudden, you get the perspective of a whole lot of other people that have been doing this thing you've been doing in secret for years.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're suddenly talking with 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people.
Yeah. And you don't have to explain
or
yourself.
above, right? And
You
you
automatically
learn,
like it.
right? Yeah, it's really a joy. And that it's nice to have that happening here with YouTube. And my sense is that that's something fairly new. That wasn't happening. Certainly wasn't happening 10 years ago.
Mm-mm.
Probably wasn't happening 5 years ago. You know, it's really been the advent of the live stream that's made it possible for people to interact, get to know each other as people.
Mm-hmm. For
It's,
sure.
yeah, and be able to have a conversation.
What made you get on YouTube? Because you've been on YouTube for a year now, right? Just over a year?
Yeah, just over years, about 15 months.
What made you start the jump and be like, was it just to promote the store or was it like, why?
No, it was to create an option to the store.
Oh, okay.
Because I really want to get out of the store. I'm really done with it. It has consumed my life
I bet.
for 15 years. And I'm kind of done with it. It's never been a profitable enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never done it to make it a profitable enterprise. You know, I'm retired, I have retirement income sufficient to, support me basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, every month for 15 years, I pump money into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of tired of doing it. And I can't sell it because it's not a money making proposition. So
Yeah.
that's pretty real. And if I liquidated, it'd be worth next to nothing because people they don't pay much for used tanks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've needed to do is get enough of a second income to be able to have some freedom to do some things, and I think it's going to happen. I'm not halfway to my goal. I'm about a third of the way um, in 1 year. So this coming year could see it break through. We'll see. I'm really excited to see what's happening right now because I'm on a growth spurt right now
Mm-hmm.
that's comparable to what happened last May. Last May, I hit a 2 week growth that went straight up, and I went from about 1,200 subscribers to 3,000,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a little better than 3,000 in 2 weeks. 100 a week, 100 a day rather, averaged 100 a day. And the views on that one video went from about 4,000 to 35,000.
Wow.
But it peaked, it hit a peak, and then it went straight down for the next 2 weeks. So I
Yeah.
have a sense of what that is. And what I'm trying to do now is some things to make it possible to keep it going a little longer and try to get it. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do a video every 2 days.
I spent a fortune on YouTube training back when I first started my channel. It was like 2 years in. And I went and traveled and met all the how to do YouTubers and talked to them all. And I still feel like I learned more from you guys on just how to do YouTube. There's a couple things that I learned from them on how to like read the analytics and how YouTube kind of pushes out the videos. But now it's a couple years old, so who knows if it holds up. But
Yeah,
they'll push out like if you put out a video, you'll notice that you'll lose a couple subscribers when you put out a video and stuff, and they'll push it out to the ones that are your most active, the ones that no matter what you do, they'll watch it in your core group. And then if they like it and leave a bunch of comments and a bunch of likes, then they'll push it out to your a little bit more inactive, the ones that watch your videos, but it might be every couple videos, or the ones that are just about your dirted tanks, not so much anything else. And then if they really like it, then they'll push it out to all of your subscribers. So that's usually when you're like, you'll lose a handful. You're like, I just lost 10 subscribers. Oh my gosh, everybody hates me. But it's the ones that aren't quite active, the ones that watch a couple videos a year. But if those people really like it, then YouTube will push it out to people that watch videos that are a little bit more similar to your videos, but not necessarily your videos. So they might watch me, but not you. So YouTube will be like, well, that's kind of similar content. Let's show it to them and see how they like it. And if they really like it, then it'll go off.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening right now.
So
we're doing end screens, which I did not do before.
Yeah, that
So
does help a little bit.
You get to click on another one of my videos.
Yeah, those end screens really help.
Yeah, and I did not do that the first time. So
yeah, you say to create playlists so you can get people like create a playlist so they will automatically auto start one of your next videos instead of someone else's videos. So you want to get them in a playlist and create a playlist for all of your dirted tanks, and then a playlist for all of your sand cat videos, and then all of your different things, and have maybe 10 videos in that playlist. And
we can do an end screen playlist.
Yeah, you can. And so it's keeping people not only on YouTube, but on your channel. And then your watch time hours go up.
Wow. We'll start doing that
if that makes any sense.
That's neat. I'm also doing Facebook. Not much response yet. And I'm looking at other platforms.
Yeah.
There are 2 or 3 other platforms that we're trying to get on. I've been on Patreon for probably a year. Never did anything with it. I've got about 20 subscribers on it.
Oh, wow.
And they're on there because they want to support the channel, but they don't want YouTube taking 30% of their gift.
Yeah.
So, that works. Then I've got some other people who simply send gifts through PayPal.
Yeah, it's an awesome community. They're all so supportive.
Well, I was told about this years ago. And I couldn't believe it. Didn't make any sense to me. I had an employee that was totally knocked out by Joey at DIY. She thought he was God. And she would tell me all about him and about the fact that people were giving him money to build his fish room. And it didn't make any sense to me. But then I got into it a little more, and then realized I probably could do something with it. But it has a life of its own. You never get where you think you're going to go. It always seems to kind of move in different directions. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I love this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just chatting with people. I'm a big chatter anyway.
Yeah. I get so nervous before the chat that I can't even talk. And then I get on the chat and I'm like,
we can all tell.
Well, I can't help it.
Really, Mary's that way. I got to shut her up sometimes. So
I get excited.
There's Jesse sitting there silent as a stone.
Yep. That's me.
Yeah, you're supposed to sit.
Oh, okay. I'll say hi to Big Tank Hank.
Read the
chat. I'll say hi to Big Tank Hank.
Hi, mainly Badass. And Dragon Layer's here, and John Larson's here, and Steven, the biologist, is here. Welcome.
Oh, yeah. Hit that like button.
Let me see. I got I need to check something here.
Oh, by the way, Big Tank Hank invited you on to his. We got to pick a day.
Oh, we got to pick a
hang
day.
out with Big Tank Hank.
Oh, I'll do that.
Cool. That'll be great. John Larson's here. John Larson sent me a very generous Christmas gift, and I have not had a chance to thank him. So
yeah, go for it.
I'll do it here, and I'll do it on my channel as well. Thank you, John, very, very, very much. Stephen's here. Stephen, the biologist.
Apparently, he went for a ride.
Did he?
Sounds like him, a forklift and a tank.
Who are you talking? Really?
I'm just paraphrasing the very long.
Wow. Oh my God.
Goodness.
Good Lord.
Hopefully all is well and nothing's broken.
Good Lord. Went down, he says. Mercy.
That doesn't sound like a very fun ride to me.
No, not at all. I fell in a fish tank today. I have a vat on the floor, like a 200-gallon vat. And I couldn't catch myself, and I just fell in it backwards.
Oh my goodness.
And the terrible part of it was there was a light on top of it, and I crushed the light.
Oh.
Smashed the light into the water. Did not get electrocuted.
I was gonna say, are you okay?
Kind of amazing. I don't know why. It's just no, didn't feel a thing.
Jeez.
I was able to pull myself out and dry my clothes off.
Well, I haven't done anything like that, but I do have a problem walking across the room sometimes without running into the door frames.
Stephen broke his wrist, got a deep cut on his side. The tank went to pieces. Good Lord.
I'm sorry.
Well, he's right there. Fortunate it wasn't worse.
Yeah, really. Amen.
Sounds bad enough, but yes, I'm glad it wasn't worse.
Broke his wrist.
That happened.
Wow.
Goodness.
That's crazy.
Great, yes. Dangerous stuff, fish tanks.
I didn't have anything like that, but on Christmas it was mildly entertaining watching me get certain things from Santa up and down the stairs by myself. It's like, oh, this was a bad idea in the making. It all worked out. Santa made a good appearance at the house.
Nice.
The kids were up to 4:30 in the morning waiting for Santa Claus. So by the time they went to bed screaming about how Santa Claus doesn't like them and how they weren't going to get anything, then Santa Claus finally showed up, and then it was 6:30, and then the kids get up at 7, so I was awake. I was like, this is going to be a long day.
How old are your children?
Mine's 8, and his is 9 and 16.
Oh, okay. So you got bigger guys.
Mm-hmm. This is the first year. His 16-year-old has a girlfriend now, and this was the first year he didn't stay and open gifts with us, and I was like, it's kind of sad. He's growing up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We're not cool anymore, though.
Oh, this happened to Stephen 3 days ago. Been in the hospital for 3 days.
Oh, my goodness. I'm really sorry.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Hopefully.
Was in his clinic. Good Lord.
Goodness. Sorry.
Amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Well, there's 2 accidents. I wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary fell 2 days ago, getting out of bed. Christmas Day, Christmas morning. The kids came in early in the morning. She jumped out of bed, fell over backwards, knocked down her computer, got a huge bruise on her back. So there's our third accident.
Yeah, it always comes in threes.
We don't need it anymore. That'll do just.
Yeah, I remember her saying she broke her rib. I remember you saying that now.
Yeah, she probably did. Mercy.
I seen earlier in the chat, not spring chicken.
Right.
I was just doing water changes this afternoon, and I twisted wrong. I was like, I think I pulled a muscle or I tweaked a nerve or something. I'm like, I just can't even twist anymore without. Yeah, that's not fun. But these stairs on the bottom row was not the greatest idea that I had. They're so low at the floor that they're hard to water change. They're hard to get started.
Done anything with bettas?
I've kept them through the years. I don't have any at this moment, but I've kept them through the years. I usually have a 5 or 10 gallon tank for them when I have them. But I can't keep them for, usually I have them for like a year and a half at the most and I just can't keep them for any long periods of time.
Yeah, that's another fish that really requires live food to survive long term.
They always start off really well, and then it just kind of goes downhill, and I don't know. But I do think being able to hatch all these brine shrimps now, I think I've got it kind of worked out, all the kinks worked out now, I think is going to be really helpful, especially for these Amica splendens and just everything really in the fish room that I have ate it. So
nice. But
I got those Amica splendens to breed once, and I've got some pregnant females. They look awful. They look like they're gonna go, but not. I've just had them spawn once, so hopefully. But the carry tetras, no luck yet. But I think those brine shrimp that might help too.
Yeah, I just had a tank start to go bad on me. My big 200-gallon discus tank started going up. Don't know exactly what happened. I think probably I had people feeding, and I think they probably overfed the tank because it just started getting murky, and it started losing fish. So I did about a 90% water change on it. Now I use treated water, RO water, and wastewater from the RO, both of which go through carbon filters. So, and we have a free chlorine in our system here. We don't have chloramines, so it dissipates pretty quickly and easily. I had one large discus left in there who had turned black, and that's usually a pretty good sign they're on their way out.
Yeah.
We did the big water change, and I was looking at him again today. That was 3 days ago, and he's back. He's back in full color. The tank looks great. The fish in it look great. Whatever it was, we were able to pull it back from the brink. But I really credit the deep substrate in there as making that happen.
Yeah.
But if it had been a bare bottom tank or a tank with no particular substrate, it would not have bounced back like that. It would have been a real struggle, and I'd have wound up probably losing most of the fish in the system. But we didn't. I've got a big pair of Wairu in there that are that size, and they look great. Rams look good. Chocolate cichlids. So far.
Wow, I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, well, I was concerned because I always never have that happen. It's very rare that I'll have a system go down. So I was concerned about it because I really didn't understand why it happened. But it snapped right back. It came back really well. So just real pleased about that.
When you add more substrate to your tank, do you do just a really heavy water change and lower the level down, or do you just add it just add it in and let it.
It depends on why I'm doing it. You know, if there's a bad water situation, then I'll do a big water change and add the sand in while the level is low. But rarely is that the case. Typically, I'll rinse the sand unless I'm using um, the pool filter sand that I get and the black sand are pretty clean.
Mm-hmm.
Actually pour them into the water and get very, very little clouding. Um, there are other sands like concrete sand, clay sand, where you
Mm-hmm.
really can't get away with that because there's so much clay and so much dust that it'll. I had one take years ago. I had some bags of sand that I was trying out.
Mm-hmm.
Very fine, super fine sand, but it was really, really dirty. Really, a lot of fine particulate matter. And I dumped a bag of it in a tank just to see what would happen, and it killed the fish in the tank. It actually clogged up their gills, so they couldn't breathe. So if you've got a really dirty sand, and by dirty I mean dusty.
Yeah.
It's not dirt; it's dust. If it's really fine, you need to rinse it first and get
Mm-hmm.
that cloudy water out of there. Otherwise, you really can kill the fish with it.
And if you think you're done rinsing it, rinse it 10 more times.
Oh, Lord knows. That's right. You have to rinse it until it gets clear.
Have you ever used paver sand?
Yeah, I have.
Because that's my favorite. And when I was doing all of my undergrad research, and maybe Steven's in here, he can help me. Maybe he knows more. What I was having absolutely like amazing results with my clarity of my water, and there is no algae in those paver sand tanks. But with the gravel and the play sand that I've used, and just various other sands I've used in the past, I get less algae because I still think there's that extra bacteria in there. But that paver sand, they said that there was more calcium carbonate added to it, so it wouldn't rinse out when you put it underneath the stones. And that extra carbonate that's in that sand was helping with my fish tanks. Now, I don't know if that's true or if that's just what they were telling me to get me to leave. But I was getting way better just clarity of my water when I used that paver sand, and I've always used it since. That's really all I've ever used.
It's
But when
very
you go,
fine. It's very fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very fine sand.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people who don't like fine sands.
Mm-mm.
I like them. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're fine.
But when you go to like the pet store in the bird section and stuff like that, you find there's sand back there and it says added carbonate to it. And I guess just that extra calcium or whatever, I guess it is in there that was helping. Now that could just be a coincidence. I don't know. But I was just curious if you've used it. I don't know.
Yeah, I have. It's fairly cheap too.
Yes, it's not expensive at all at the hardware store. You can get a huge bag for under $10.
A couple of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with Petroman earlier today. He called up to talk about sand. And I mentioned he's in New Jersey. And I mentioned green sand to him, which is only found in New Jersey.
I was going to say, I haven't heard of that before.
I seen it in the chat earlier. He was talking about it.
Oh, wow. That sounds cool.
He's got a comment at 542. He says, the green soil is in New Jersey, lots of minerals, plus iron, but it lowers pH. So it does not have the carbonate in it, presumably, but it's got a lot of minerals in it.
Mm-hmm.
He does mineralized water. He raises discus and he starts with RO water and adds minerals to it. So I thought this might be something interesting for him to try. That's locally available to him.
Well, there's another question in the chat to go along with that Kevin asked if either ScienceGal does or you do, Father Fish, if you use RO water, and
I
if
do
you
not.
prefer it or not.
Well, I use it all the time in my saltwater aquariums.
Mhm.
And there are freshwater fish I use it with. I use it with bettas. I find they do better with RO water. Um, I just reset this discus tank up with about 80% RO and 20% hard water.
Mhm.
So it kind of returned it to close to what it was, but not quite as hard. Um, I think the key is to be able to maintain pH. And with RO, you've got to have carbonates in there, or you're
Mhm.
not going to be able to maintain a pH. So it's really a matter of kind of figuring that out.
I
Adding
just use
carbonate.
tap water. I'm not that fancy like you.
Well, I have an RO system. It's called a Merlin that is no longer available. I bought it for I think $100
Oh wow.
used. It was 200 brand new. They don't make them anymore. Um, the new ones are $2,000 because they make like 400 to 500 gallons of water a day. They make a huge amount of water. They use a big cartridge. It's like a 20-inch long cartridge that lasts about 6 months in my water, um, and reduces to RODI levels. I mean, it'll get it down to 1 or 2 ppm. So they're pretty good systems.
Mhm. Sounds like it. I don't. I have a. It's messy over here, so be warned. I have this fancy trash can right here that I fill up, and I let it sit overnight, and then I use that the next day.
So you've got free chlorine.
Mm-hmm.
You,
Yeah,
you
I just let that evaporate, and then this is the bucket that I pump it out to my vegetable
right.
garden in the summertime.
Nice,
Mhm.
nice.
That's my water setup. But Haley used to joke around with me because this is new. I used to fill all of these fish tanks up with a water gallon jug, 1 gallon at a time,
Wow.
and I would just dump it in with my little drinking water gallon. I would watch the live chats all day, and I would come down here and I would siphon it out and refill it 1 gallon at a time. So this to me is
Oh,
like
I
a
know.
lifesaver.
I've got about 250 tanks.
I know you could you imagine Phil that that's way too much.
Really? Well, they're on systems, so
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
do anything. They're auto top off, so they take care of themselves.
Yeah. You work smarter and I work harder.
The
That's
only
why
thing I
yours
have
are
to make
super
the RO, but I save the wastewater from my RO, and that's what goes into all my freshwater tanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have it down to a science. For real.
There's all kind. Well, Steven in there, he's talking about his RO water that he uses, and he pretty much does the same thing from what I'm reading in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
It
yeah.
sounds like a lot of people do use the RO water. I just don't.
Well, it gives you more options.
Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of control, a lot of options, and you can really zero it into exactly what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
I
And then Kevin was asking about the play sand again, if what we thought about that, which
I'd still use play sand. I still like play sand. I just if I have the choice, I prefer the paper sand over the play sand, or that there's the really expensive stuff at the pet store. What is it that?
Well, you have to rinse it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you don't rinse it, you're going to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm. For real.
Oh,
I just rinse it until I just get tired of rinsing it. And then I'll set it aside and rinse it again the next day. And then I'll use it in the tanks. And
Now,
even till then, it'll be dusty. It'll
this
take it a while.
full filter sand does not require nearly the rinsing.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually pour it in your tank directly. Now it is packed differently in different places. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the full filter sand that I get, which is mined out in Central Florida, is washed before it's bagged, washed and dried, so it has very little dust in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are other companies that sell it that where it really needs to be rinsed, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the right. It's a heavier grain than plain sand. It's a little bit coarser.
I'll spin you around again. We'll go on a this one right here with the spindins. That's all play sand. That tank.
Nice.
That one. That's all. It's recently set up, but underneath that is a bunch of gravel from an old tank, and then fluval stratum, and then sand is what I have in that one.
That
And
works
it's
fine.
starting to sprout finally. It's been 6 months or so, 8 months or so, and it's starting to sprout up and look good.
Well, that's really the only issue. Is
Mhm.
time. You know, I do the dirt because it kick starts the system.
Mhm. Yeah, it was brown for like a month, but honestly, I think the fish and the plants they enjoyed it more being fully tannin and dirted up than being clear.
Well, probably.
That's the best time. Everything was growing, sprouting fast.
Yeah, Steven's right. There's good and bad things about RO. It's all about what you're keeping and what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Always is. That's right.
Hi, Danikin. I don't know if I said hi or not to Danikin. Hi, Danikin.
Yeah, I seen him in there.
And
Hi.
Hello.
I just missed it. What Petro Man said. He spends his money on some sort of sand.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even. It jumped out of my way.
He buys a mineral base from Germany that he adds to his RO water to get precise mineralization for
Wow.
hibiscus, and it works really well for him.
I would give them my money too if it. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, he's much more a technician than most hobbyists. He knows exactly what his water conditions are precisely all the time. Most people, but he only has 2 tanks. It's hard to do that with 20 or 30 tanks, which he happily admits that he can do it because he's only got 2 tanks to worry about.
I'm just having fun experimenting and learning because when I was a kid, I just always had that 1 inch, the bright neon colored gravel, and I had my fake plants. And now, since learning from everybody, I have some dirted tanks and some gravel tanks and some sand tanks and there's a seashell tank over here we went to the beach for the first time and just kind of playing with them and then adding to it and then slowly building up that thicker substrate, like you said, and just kind of having fun experimenting and trying and new products and new things and things people suggest. And it's just fun. It's really fun. And then playing with the plants, it's just changed everything. It just makes everything better. Just everything.
Yeah, it changes the whole nature of the tank. I always had plants. From the time I was a little kid, we had plants. My grandmother, who kept fish back in the 1930s,
Oh, wow.
20s, in the teens even, in Germany, she was a teenager, a child really, young teenager, in Berlin, Germany, and came over. I don't know whether it was. I guess it was before the Second World War. She came, the First World War. I mean, came over before the First World War as a 13-year-old by herself. Took a boat across the ocean at 13
Wow.
to stay with an uncle who lived in Baltimore, and then later married my grandfather and raised the family. But I remember she had a fish tank. She had always had fish from the time she was a little kid. one of my first videos talks about that. Talks about her and the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Fond memories. But she had live plants in her tank.
Wow.
That
That's
part.
Awesome. Yeah, I had no, like, I guess I just never thought of it. Just didn't care, didn't think about it. It wasn't on my radar. I just
Right.
got my fake plants and my neon gravel, and it was awful.
Really.
That's a cool story. Yeah, but I don't have, my dad does just always like plastic everything, but it worked.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary, again for the super chat, or the super sticker, rather.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one that decided to get you into plants.
Yeah, he kind of helped.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, he got bit by the bug. Now I don't have anybody tell me no, and it's really nice. But I'm going to, if you want, I'll let you go so you can take a break before your live chat starts on your channel if everybody wants to hop over there. But I'm sure you'll want to have a few minutes to take a breather. But
Well, thank you, Carrie.
thank you
Thanks
so
very
much.
much for inviting me up. Delighted to be here. It was great
I'm
fun.
so glad to finally get to talk to you.
Jesse, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
But thank you guys so much for being here and tuning into the live chat. And again, thank you so much, Father Fish. And everybody, just go over to that chat and we'll continue to hang out.
Yeah, we'll be there.
You come on up. Come on up when you come over, Carrie.
Okay, yeah, I'll stop in for a few minutes and then I'll go hang out with my dad.
All right. See
I'll
you.
see you soon. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye, Pete.